So what led me to be a foster carer? Well, I was 18 years old and I was at a conference when there was a promotion from Youth for Christ that talked about their desperate need for foster carers for teenagers in Melbourne. And so I said in my heart, one day when I get married and I buy my first home, I am going to do foster care. Well, 10 years later, we had just been accepted to buy our first home through the bank, and as soon as my husband called me and told me that we got the home, I called Youth for Christ. And I said to them, I heard about you 10 years ago, sign me up. Now, the reason why I wanted to foster through Youth for Christ was that my mother was adopted. And so when she was 13, she was just struggling with her sense of belonging. And she lived in Singapore when Youth for Christ visited her school and shared with her God's love. She will tell you that it changed her life. That she went from brokenness to healing, that suddenly she felt like she was loved and she was valued, and that she had hope. And that has kept her going for the rest of her life. One of the most rewarding parts of our foster care journey has been seeing children go from brokenness to life, to see them flourish. When you receive a child, they're anxious, they're worried, they have trouble sleeping. But by the end of your placement, you can actually see the difference. You can see the joy in these children's lives. The wonderful thing is getting letters back from foster children who are now adults, and to see that they're engaged, or that they're working, or that they're living a life that is full. We know that statistics tell us that people who are in foster care can continue the cycle of brokenness. But the most rewarding thing is seeing that we can be part of breaking this cycle of brokenness, and we do this through God's love. My faith has been an important part of my foster care journey. In the Bible, God implores us to love one another, to take care of the widows and the orphans. We know that widows are single parents, single mums, that orphans are those who don't have parents to care for them. And our role is actually to care for the least and the lost. We can make a difference in their lives. My faith is important because it gives me strength to endure, because fostering is really hard and I need a higher power to help me and give me the grace to continue. Fostering has deepened my sense of love and compassion, because when I look at these children who have been removed from their parents, my heart just breaks. As a mother, the worst thing that could happen would be to have my children taken away from me. And so I have a great empathy for these parents who are working to get their children back. I think of the mother who is working so hard to get their children back, and how she has had a cycle of brokenness as well. And so my compassion is that I'm doing it because I want to champion mothers. I'm passionate about motherhood. I run a Mumco group that supports women who are at risk or who are struggling with motherhood. And so fostering allows me to do this in another way. If I can champion a mother and have compassion over her, I hope that it will break the cycle of brokenness and bring generations to a sense of hope, and that they would flourish. Churches and individuals can help support foster carers by becoming a respite carer, becoming an approved babysitter, helping with transport, praying, also helping with tutoring, or just being a mentor. We have found it's so amazing when the community around us just encourages us, because sometimes we're exhausted. And so I know I've appreciated when friends have dropped a meal by, when they've offered to fold my laundry, when they have offered to become an approved babysitter. It just gives us a break and it helps us to rest so that we can care for these kids again. There's one moment that stands out in my foster care journey about why I do this work. I was really tired. I was thinking, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And then my foster daughter brought me this gift. She had made me a book, and in it, it said, "You love God, you know Him, and she had given me all of these badges to reward me for knowing God's love. And this really touched my heart because I'm not perfect. I get frustrated with all the toys and the socks all over the floor. I get frustrated that no one's putting their dishes in the sink. But I thought, if this child in my home can see God's love in me, then wow, this is so worth it. Because I want children to know that they are loved unconditionally, that someone cares for them, and that they can have a life that is to the full.